Hey guys, I'm RiggyRob, and welcome back to another stream. We finished off Portal 2 last time, and I did have some other kind of Portal 2-esque games in mind, Superliminal being the main one, but I decided to try and mix things up a bit, play a bit of a different genre, and I found Citizen Sleeper. So this came out in 2022, but as you can probably tell on the screen, it says that Citizen Sleeper 2 has been announced, and in fact has released as of 2025. So I figured, you know what, I like the kind of vibe that Citizen Sleeper is going for. It's described, I think, as a dice-based RPG, so it's my closest frame of reference for it would be Disco Elysium, but it's probably closer to Cyberpunk 2077, the actual tabletop version of Cyberpunk, not the most recent video game, which is all action. And yeah, so I figured, you know, we'll try Citizen Sleeper. I did have other games in mind, but I have a feeling I don't actually have enough time to get through them all now before we go on an indefinite hiatus. So let's get started with Citizen Sleeper then. New game. Empty. And yes, I did have a quick look at these classes and the start just before the stream. So, the default class is Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Perk is Transfer Intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Skills are Engineer, Interface, Endure, Intuit, and Engage. So, engineers work with machines and physical tools, interface works with digital interfaces, endure uses strength or will, intuit, approach problems with awareness, and engage, approach problem head on. So this operator has a bonus to interface, but a penalty to endure. So that will probably affect dice rolls. So it'll be, hey, interface stuff is easier for an operator, but endure stuff is harder. So this one is a machinist, repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful and structured people. They have efficient extractor as their perk, chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. And extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient and have a high level of endurance. So their perk is photosynthetic skin. Sunbathed dice action allows energy recovery at home. Now, I have no idea what scrap item means, cryo and interface means, dice action for energy recovery. I'm going to go with this one. This is the default one. It's the first one that comes up. It's the one that's on the key art, I'm pretty sure. Might as well, you know. Like, the penalty to endure could be bad, but I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, let's start as an operator. So with this, I have no idea if it's got voice acting or not. I assume it doesn't, because this is not a, you know, game made by lots of people. I don't imagine it has the budget for it. But maybe it does, I don't know, we'll see. I very much got this based on the vibe and the fact that it was on sale. Because obviously Citizen Sleeper 2 came out quite recently. I think in like the last couple of months at least. So they must have done like a, you know, hey, game's out on new system, new version. Get the older one. I think there was something similar with Grapple Dogs. So Grapple Dog is the first one, and then Grapple Dogs, Cosmic Canines, released and had a, you know, a sale to celebrate that. But I wasn't expecting the loading time to be this long. I mean, coming off of Portal, that definitely felt like a longer loading time. That was a much older game, though. I'm wondering whether this is actually a Switch 1 performance thing. Okay. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. So, where are you? Unknown. Data, items, cryo, cryptocurrency stored in an air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. And then, so up and down, yeah. No, nothing to do. All right. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body or forget that body. No, think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan, or remember the others? What's the plan? You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple: collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold, try to rest. Yeah, you might as well. You are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body was still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its senses. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Okay. So yeah, you can kind of get the vibes of Disco Elysium waking up in a unique place. That is a very low frame rate. I did not look up performance reviews of this game, or even many reviews in total, but that is not even a smooth 30 FPS. Yeah. But we are on the Dragos, Pragmatic Salvager. And again, nothing new because we have no items and no data. Oh, Dragos. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. I imagine most of the game is going to be static screens anyway, so the low frame rate shouldn't matter too much. With it being a dice-based RPG, I'm not expecting action. I'm not expecting to have to take actions quickly. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges when a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with foggy eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? Almost. Stay silent. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have been better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Stay silent. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what you led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off-world, but as you do, you now get the familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person, you are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what is ahead, at least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S and ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumours of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye, or stay silent. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to handle voice acting for characters. I guess it's just kind of based off of a vibe, but with no sort of indications, no voice grunts or barks, I think they call them. It's kind of hard to know what they go for. Like, is Dragos that old? Is he young? Is he, you know? Hard to tell. Anyway, tutorial introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations with the D-pad and A. Okay. Operator. Aha! Okay, here's the skill screen. Alright. So, starting with the operator class, you get the transfer intercept skill by default, and it would also mean that trying to get photosynthetic skin is harder to do, I imagine, because you're already taking a point away. So this naturally leads to Icebreaker, so agent nodes give double data rewards, and then other things. So, predictive reasoning dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. That's good. Thrill Seeker, chance to gain energy after any engaged action. Don't know what the chance is, but it could be good. And then the additional ones. So we've got Self-Repair. Use scrap components at home to repair condition. Hard to kill. Keep 2 dice even when condition is breaking. Instant Karma. Reroll all of your dice and once per cycle. Obsessive Haggler. All cryo actions are discounted by 20%. And then, as you go further along, you'll get more upgrade points. Yeah. So I imagine there is something... Oh, it might be... The first skill point you get unlocks the skill, and then the next one makes the skill better, adds a +1 to it. And then lets you go into the one after that. Maybe, but we'll see. Yeah, empty container. This is your home for now. The game didn't like me trying to change the camera around. Alright, that's fine. So yeah, we're on the Dragos. And it kind of snaps back into position if you move it after that. Okay. So, there's no zoom in, zoom out. Oh, ZR and ZL make the travel quicker. Okay. And then, let's see, options, just to see. We can make the screen text large. Default's fine. Music and ambient FX is 5. It's a fairly quiet game so far, I think, so that's fine. Complete the tutorial to activate autosave. Got it. Per cycle, energy condition, end cycle. All cycles need to end, rest and prepare for the next one. So yeah, so this game, supposedly not very long, but I imagine it probably has multiple routes because you have the 3 different classes, and you can take different choices for each of the dialogues. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed, its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are in this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of those make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape, getting answers, building a life. Getting answers, I guess, because he's traded, well, they have traded a body, so we need answers. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What S and ARP did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way of understanding all this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, we have to learn to survive first. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container, the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay, flickering. And we've got dice, 4, 5, 4, 3. Okay, tutorial, condition, action dice, and energy dice. Condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Alright. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy slots, lots of condition slots. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Leave. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. Also, Dragos has like a something on their throat, so I don't know if that would be like a vocalizer or something, but I don't know. And hello Reaper, thanks for joining the stream. How are you doing today? He is still wearing his headset. In the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? With the way that the flow of this game goes, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to switch between doing the narration and then doing the voice of the person. It's a lot easier to do voice acting of characters when it's characters talking to each other, but if you are explaining things that happen, then you kind of almost have to treat it like Disco Elysium, where the narrator is speaking to you, but he's also doing his own voice for the skills as they talk to you. And there's not really a good way to switch between them. Anyway. I feel okay. Condition's pretty high, energy's pretty low. The drone chirps, good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Depends on what the work is, though, doesn't it? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards, or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of it, what comes in, is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Now, there's a thing here where you can kind of say, I'm relearning everything about the universe I am in, so I'm obviously asking questions to Dragos to explain things to me. But I feel like in-universe, this character probably understands what chits are. Because, I guess it's like playing as an amnesiac, right? You understand what money is, even if you're an amnesiac. You just don't remember who you are, or your main memories. But the general societal concept you all know, so got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay, so Dragos' yard, and I'm pretty sure that's all there is, yeah? Not many other locations. Oh, no, there is. Low-end gates, passage into the low end. Well, we'll do the Dragos yard thing first. So. Tutorial Actions 1 of 2. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, select with the D-pad an A and then choose an action dice to assign. Okay, so if dice are rolled at the start of the day, you have to choose which ones you want to succeed or have the highest chances of succeeding. Repeatable actions. Hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Input dice. So on there it says risky. I imagine that's because the roll itself could fail. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, if the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. So if you roll a 6, it's 100% positive. 5, 50% chance positive. 2 or 4 is 25% positive, 50% neutral, 25% negative. Oh, sorry, 3 or 4. And 1 or 2, 50% neutral, 50% chance negative. So obviously, you want to roll high. And then the manual salvage, it's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to hard labor. So, let's see. Yeah, it's showing on the right hand side that your bonus, in this case your penalty, -1, will take away from the dice roll. So even if you had a 6 dice, the endure would reduce it down to 5. But it's still a better than usual outcome. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and skill and modifiers that apply to that action. So, type, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. Safe means no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky means that a negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. And danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Skill. The skill that this action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage, and then the modifier, either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. So for the risk of a roll, it looks like you would be best off using your high dice on danger rolls. Medium dice on risky and safe, meaning you can just do it no matter what. It kind of depends on what the bonus is when you get a positive outcome. Because so far, this just shows that it's negative outcomes are bad. Continue. A debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Backing business. Every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. Okay. So, I have a penalty to endure, so I do not want to do that. So I'd rather do hull dissection. And in that case, let's use our 5 dice. Okay, and start the action. Action complete. Clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something, good or bad, is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on that icon for that location. Alright. Positive outcome, back in business, and cryo. Okay. And of course I can repeat this. So it's interesting actually. Manual salvage is safe, hull dissection is risky. Well, let's try this. So I'm going to use my lowest dice. Oh. Tutorial drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, deciding which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu with L. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Scroll the station with the left stick or ZLZR, rotate the camera with the right stick, and good luck. Okay, survive. Find a doctor. Repay Dragos and survive. Okay. And then, oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to look at complete. Yes, nothing complete. Makes sense. Okay. Alright. You need to access corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise the escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Alright, I am going to try the 3 dice on Endure. So even though there could be a 50% negative action, a negative outcome, because it's turned into a 2 dice, it's a safe action, so I will not lose condition, energy, or cryo. We don't know what the negative outcome is though. Let's try it. Negative outcome, +5 cryo. You ache from the camera. Yeah, okay. You call it a day early before you injure yourself. Okay. Alright. So that's that. Now. Oh, a lot more has opened up. Okay.